have joined us this morning and have a phone, that's terrific. If you could please put it on vibrate or shut it off for the next little while, that would be very, very good. Rather unique morning this one is, on any number of levels. Chuck got up before 9:30. Cheryl made it here before the beginning of the service. And everybody here has been pacing and lost multiple pounds from schwitzing over what today means. They have now become adults who are 12 and a half. Well, okay, fine. For some, it's not that long a ride. But they are now about to embark on an event that's a pinnacle event in Jewish life. There's your bris for half of us. We had no choice. Many of us got married. We had no choice. We passed. Most of us had no choice. But from the beginning to the end, there are myriad choices that we get to make. And many of them are attached to dates or times or years or ages or grades in school. Oh, I made it through kindergarten, I have a graduation. You made it through, right? And we move forward. But this day today is not an issue of have to. This is an issue of choice. These people have chosen to do this. They have chosen to spend a year together, some two, to be ready for this day. It is not perfect. Not supposed to be. We are humans. We're not supposed to be perfect. It's the striving. And so we ask your help. When there is something to be read, read. If you see something on the screens, if you're a guest, that's in yellow, that is clearly for you. If you are a congregant, contrary to how you perceive the service to go, if it's in yellow, it's also for you. Why? Because in this congregation, it's a family and people read whatever they want. And they sing whatever they want. And that's just great. So, something comes along you want to sing, go ahead. You don't know the melody? Sing quieter. You have no idea. Rabbi bet me $50 one time that the congregation doesn't sing with anything. And I said, they'll sing with everything. And he said, $50 says you're wrong. I said, pick a prayer. And he picked a prayer. And I stood on the pulpit and hit a chord and invented a song standing there, and he knew it. And oddly enough, by the second verse, so did they. And they just started singing a song they'd never heard. So if your heart is moved to sing, sing. If it is moved to read, read. If it is moved to go on your phone, don't. In any case, these 9 people are making a statement about who they are, what they are, and why they exist. It is not funny in the end. This is as serious as an adult can make a statement. To go, here is the foothold that I stand on, and here's who I am. We become adults and we go, well, we are who we are. And we stop. We stop. How many of us went through bar mitzvah and then we thought, you know enough? Oops. They didn't and felt that they wanted more. And so today is a celebration, not just of Shavuot, of the giving of the law. And today you will hear the Ten Commandments read by these people. And yes, the tradition is to stand while that is done. If it starts to get to be a little bit long and you must sit, God will understand. The class will not, but God will. And they are going to celebrate who they are and what they are. So, welcome and Shabbat Shalom as we begin. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet nachim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet nachim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet nachim gam yachad. We now call this class to rise and stand before this open ark as we invite members of their family to come and present them with prayer shawls that are from their families or that are theirs, in which they wrap themselves in the mitzvot of Jewish lives. And so I would ask the presenters to please come up, and the class As we chant through these blessings that will follow Dorothy's ethical will, one of them says, "Who has made me a Jew, I thank you. It is not to the exclusion of other faith communities. Quite the opposite. It simply says that our responsibilities as Jews we willingly and gratefully accept. And therefore, we are thanking God for placing that responsibility on us as Jews." Dorothy is going to read the first of several ethical wills. There is a difference between a legal stuff will, if you think about that, and an ethical will where we leave something about our souls and our spirits to our families and our communities. Through the course of today, you will hear several ethical wills to add to the number that were done last evening.
To all of my children, sons-in-law, grandchildren, I leave the lessons and suggestions I've accumulated in my 91 years of living a life full of glorious triumphs, major mistakes, and lessons learned. The first thing I'm reading, I have tears in my eyes because of this one. Be a good friend. In order to do that, you must learn to listen and not be judgmental. Friends will support, listen, and be by your side for a lifetime of comfort and giving. And I was surprised this morning from my friend who just came in from New York, Kit, with her daughter Denise, and I never expected to be here. Follow your dreams, work hard to achieve your goals. If you fail, and sometimes you will, pick yourself up and try again. Always remember that your most valuable asset is your name. Honor the gift that has been handed to you from generations past. Always try to be positive in your thoughts. There will be times you won't meet your own expectations, so do not despair, as there will always be a light at the end of every tunnel. It's up to you to find the opening. You will if you keep searching. Never go to bed angry. Settle any disagreement first. It is the little things that can have a life of their own. Never let them overwhelm you. As is often said, don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy the world you live in. Travel while you're young and able to do so. This is a magnificent world to treasure and protect. Consider yourself a steward of this world. Help the poor, unhealthy, and needy. Most importantly, love each other. Give your time, energy, and respect to those you care about, as it will come back to you 100-fold. Be grateful for what you have. Money, jewelry, status may not be of any value if you do not have your health. Don't be stressed by what you don't have. Learn to love what you do have. You have been cherished and loved by your parents, your siblings, your children, and your grandchildren, and friends. All that love, affection, thoughtfulness, empathy must be returned. I love you all with all my heart and soul. Thank you for giving me a beautiful journey.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Just as a second of explanation, I have just added to my Yom Kippur list. Well, it's Shavuot, so it's not that far in the year. I'm reading from actually two different sets of the service, and I am not used to having others here to help. And so, my bad. It felt good to get it off my chest. Yeah.
Elu Devarim she'ein lachem she'or she'adam ochel peretechem ba'olam hazeh v'karim v'karim ha'ayomet lo le'olam haba. These are things that are limitless,
Of which a person enjoys through the world.
while the principle remains in the world to come. They are engaging deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing food and couple, accompanying their burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. The study of Torah becomes the law.
Years ago, I asked, where do I find God? I was told God is internal, external, and eternal. Thus began my spiritual journey on a road of curves and detours, lots of detours. I wrote a want ad for God which read, looking for direction, guidance, and protection. All others need not apply. I was led to reassess my rules, shoulds, and musts I was urged to become a better listener, to support others, and to volunteer. In this classroom of life, my inner voice prompted me to discard my wishbone and was given the strength to use my backbone. As a result, I have tapped into God's most precious gift, which is peace within. We all have it. We just have to connect with it. To my family, I love you beyond measure.
The following readings were chosen by the class but do not appear in the screens. That will happen a couple of times during the service.
For our teachers and their students, and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness. And let us say,
Amen.
And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need. And let us say,
Amen.
We ask for peace and loving kindness. And let us say,
Amen.
I find by experience, not by reasoning, but by my own discovery, that God is near me, and I can be near God at all times. I cannot explain it, but I am as sure of my experience as I am of the fact that I live and love. I cannot explain how I have come to live and love, but I know I do. In the same way, I know I am in contact with God.
Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehallelujah selah. Ashrei ha'am shekach lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they forever praise you. Happy the people who have it so. Happy the people whose God is Adonai. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rava, v'amadi l'achnu teviam lifmalchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael. Yehesh me Rava nevarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei v'kudishah le'elam min kol birchat yishirata. Please feel free to be seated. We're waiting on a miracle.
Belonging to a temple has a different meaning for each of us. Some of us go once or twice a year on the holidays. Some of us go more frequently, yet don't really participate in temple life or get to know our fellow congregants. Some of us attend everything. Supporting the temple in whatever way we can is what matters in the end. Keeping TBEI the center of Jewish life in Port St. Lucie is what matters. Being a part of our temple life in any way is what's important. I have been a member of this temple for close to 22 years. I have gotten to know many people. Sadly, some of them are gone now. And through the years, I have made some incredible friendships with some of the nicest and most caring people. When we moved to Port St. Lucie, I didn't think that I would find a temple like their upbringing and their roots, that they continue to feel Jewish and observe our religion in whatever way they are comfortable, that they remain true to themselves and continue to live the way they were raised, with integrity and honor and compassion, that they love each other as I love them and are always there for each other.
Feelings from the heart are the highest mountains to climb.
I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands no abdication of my mind.
I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires all the devotion of my heart.
I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps.
I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes.
I am a Jew because the word of Israel is the oldest and the newest.
I am a Jew because Israel's promise is the universal promise.
I am a Jew because for Israel the world is not completed. We are completed.
I am a Jew because for Israel, humanity is not created, we are creating it.
I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and its unity above the nations and above Israel itself.
We are Jews because of our humanity, image of divine unity. Israel places the unity that is divine.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Amorach. Baruch Adonai, Amorach, Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim melech haolam, yoser or u'borei choshech, osei shalom u'borei
Et Hakol.
Praise are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation.
Ma rabu ma'asacha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, malach haaretz kinedecha, v'barach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al ne'orei or she'asita, v'fa'arucha, selah. Or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkech chulanu meheira le'oro, baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'ma'orot. Praised are you.
Ahava Rava Ahatanu Adonai Eloheinu, Kamla Gadola, B'Torah Kamalta Aleinu. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well.
Ha'erinenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached l'mahabeinu le'ahava u'yirah et shemerecha, lo nevosh, lo nikalem, lo nikashel, le'olam ba'ed, ha'ereinu b'toratecha, b'davik libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yafet b'vahaveinu le'ahava u'yirah et shemerecha. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai said to Moses as follows,
Admit, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Admit, the pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice.
The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your sister and brother in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your people, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and pose the poor, asked God?
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar hakol. השפחוגונים, לשמחה לשפת הים. יחד כולם הודו ונבו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צורי ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ותכנו מכה יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. In something newly deduced from the Torah, we have created something called Jerobics. You have stood up. Please sit down. We will have you stand at the correct and appropriate time.
Well, I can tell you, I am happy to be reading this and not someone else, okay? You know what that means. I want to leave my family some words to live by, or words of wisdom. These are the same I try to live by, and would not ask any more of you than what I have tried to be aware of my whole life. And that is always practice forgiveness and always practice compassion. Forgiveness and compassion go a long way. Wake up every morning happy, never mad or angry. Starting the day right is what my grandma always said. Practice what you preach, especially to your children. Children are the pathways to everyone's future. And never say words you cannot take back. That hurts a person more than you will ever know, and it will always stay with you. And never throw back anything to someone that has happened long ago, because that hurts too. Never stay angry if someone upsets you. I always say build a bridge and then get over it. Never steal, swear, gamble, or take drugs. Well, you know what I mean. Never be jealous of each other, and always love, always care. Stay spiritual, always be there for each other. Because boys, Mama says to do this, but I'll be watching you.
Now we rise for the Amidah. us sanctify your name on earth as it is sanctified in the heavens above. As it is written by your prophet, holy, holy, holy is Adonai Tzvaot. God's presence fills the whole earth.
To my children and grandchildren, life's lessons are an invaluable gift, but they don't always come wrapped in a pretty package. They must be experienced. Sometimes they are gained from life's joyful moments, and sometimes they are learned from your struggles and your pain. There will be times also when other people will share what they have experienced and learned to help make your life easier. I hope you will use this knowledge, these lessons, to help guide you through life. Be patient with yourself and with others. Act, don't react. Take time to think things through and to choose your words and actions carefully. We all have weaknesses. Acknowledge yours and work toward overcoming them. Learn to adapt as long as you don't compromise your principles. Speak the truth with kindness. Failing at something does not mean you are a failure. It means you had the courage to try. Take the opportunity to learn from that experience and then move on. Change is good. It allows us to experience new things, to grow, and to learn. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Be grateful for what you have. Enjoy the moment. Make the most of what is here and now and the people who are part of that. Most of all, smile. It does make you feel better.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melokol haaretz kivodo. Hadir Eloheinu Adonai Eloheinu Matir Simcha b'chol haaretz. Baruch kivod Adonai. Ani Adonai Elohim, Yemloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, Lidor Vador, Hallelujah. Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador Nagid Galecha, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador Nagid Galecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Yerushatecha Nakish, Yerushatecha Nakish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, Yibinu lo yamush, Le'olam, Le'olam, Va'ed. Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador Nagid Galecha, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador, Lidor Vador Nagid Galecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. The next prayer, the Vishamu, in the Torah follows immediately as the next line after the Shema. It is an important prayer that talks about tefillin, mezuzot, and putting signs of God and God's world around us. I always offer the B'nai Mitzvah students the option of which Vishamu would you like to do, the more traditional one or the one that's a little less so. And I am pleased to announce they have chosen to go a little bit less so in a minute. Oh, okay. Fine.
My ethical will. We need to start each morning with thankfulness and a smile for the gift that life is. Treat each other with compassion and respect, for you don't know what burdens others carry. Whatever burdens life may give you, financial, mental, or physical, keep a positive attitude, for it can always be worse, as it is for many. With this in mind, greet strangers with a smile and become engaged in your community in order to make the world a more compassionate home.
Oh, we're doing, excuse me, we'll be organizing the service at the moment. We're not doing that, huh? Oh. If you ever needed proof that God answers prayer. Peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people, Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence, truly through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God. We now come to a pinnacle moment in the history not only of the Jewish people, but of this moment, the recreation of the giving of the Aseret HaDibrot, of the 10 utterances by God to the Jewish people. Tradition says, as the Jews stood at the base of the mountain, as Moses recited for the first time, the community, of course, was standing as the word of God rained down over them. Much of our Torah service every week is an attempt to replicate that moment. And so the ark doors open and the Torah is raised and we stand. The tradition for the 10 Commandments, as I said at the beginning, is to stay standing if you can. If it is going to be a bit of a physical challenge, please do not do it. In the same way that you are not allowed to not take medication even on Yom Kippur. A person's health takes precedence over a person showing of fealty to God. And therefore, if to rise and stay standing through the entire reading is a challenge, it is not a challenge that God requires. It is a tradition. And traditions have wonderful time and wonderful place. But the Aseret HaDibrot are chanted or read as one aliyah, and therefore all 9 of our B'nai Mitzvah students will take their chance and take their time reading each of the Aseret HaDibrot in order. We will only do the Torah blessings one time. And if everything works out properly, the doc cam will show you exactly where they're reading from. Meantime, we begin. As we ask on Michael and Chuck to open the ark doors. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'masecha, malachut ka'malachut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim, heitiva b'rtzoncha et Zion, tibnei chomot, Yerushalayim, ki b'cha levad patachnu, melech elram v'nisa, Adon olamim, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch Shanatan Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Blessed is God who in holiness gave the Torah to the people Israel. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adoneinu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti uneramem Hashemo yachdav. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, ha'olam omed. Torah ve'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Torah ve'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'istakatu le'har kasho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'istakatu le'har kasho. Ki kadosh Adonai Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romelu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'isnakavu Lahar Kadsho Romelu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'isnakavu Lahar Kadsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romelu Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romelu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishnatavu Lahar Kadsho Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kohan Shamad, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shamad, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kohan Shemat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shemat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Please be seated. We call to the Torah the entire adult B'nai Mitzvah class of Temple Bethel Israel. Baruch Adonai Torah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'na'am v'tol ami v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu haTorah. Amen.
Vayidaber Elohim, Eid, Kal, Hadvarim, Ha'ele, Eid Amor.
Anochi Adonai Elohecha, asher hotzetecha me'eretz Mitzrayim,
Sheshet Yami, Asa Adonai et Hashemayim, Va'et Haaretz, et Hayam, Va'et Kol Asher, Bam, Vayanach, Bayom Hashvi'i, Alkein, Beirach Adonai, et Yom HaShabbat, Va'echadsheu.
Kaveh et avicha, v'et amecha, l'man yirchu mipnecha, al ha'adam, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach.
Lo tirzah, lo tinam, lo tegnom, lo te ane, divrei, ach, shekar.
As always, before this open scroll, a little too much going on. As always, before this open Torah scroll, we spend a moment with our Misha Berach list. Well, you're not. What happened? Well, okay. Just be a second and reminisce on your favorite of the Ten Commandments. Just be a second. Pick one that you really like and one you can do without. In any case, while I'm attempting to fix this, if you would on our list, well, don't look at the screens, you'll see all the tricks. But if you would focus on the names on our Misha Berach list this week, including Barbara Abramowitz, Ruth Benson, Henrietta Dalkey, Helen Heller, Len Heller, Harry Jackson, Sandu Kreuter, Evie Morabito, Joe Morabito, Joel Rosenberg, Ethel Rolnick, Mario Steisel, Ronnie Weiner, and if there are other names, please feel free to share them. Feel free to call them out while I'm fixing. Okay. Len?
Yehudy Bartolomea, Eric Hirsch.
Leah Clark. Adrian Aurora.
Vizot HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Yi Adonai B'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tzira lanu Moshe. Please be seated. The Haftarah was something that was done and created during times when the Jews were not allowed to read from the Torah. The idea of our enemies being that if they kept us from reading Torah, we would die in a generation. And so the rabbis spent time creating similitude between the Torah reading and its ethical and moral statements and readings and statements from mostly the books of prophets, which were similar and would evoke a similar response and understanding, being as we did all 10 Commandments today, and we all understand them. We will dispense with the Haftarah today and go directly to Dorothy Zanin, who will explain. It's been a long day. Who will explain on behalf of the class what all of this stuff in front of you is.
We've come to the part of the ceremony where the B'nai Mitzvah describes their chosen project. Well, as you may have noticed, we are of a certain age, at least some of us. We wanted to do something that would be comforting to patients undergoing chemotherapy or dialysis, as they often feel tired, depressed, chilled, hungry, or bored. They need some distractions from their treatments, and it was our decision to fill up tote bags with lap blankets, puzzle books, packaged crackers, lifesavers, pens, pencils, etc., to be delivered to a dialysis chemotherapy center. We all felt this was an appropriate mitzvah project, and to make it known that Temple Beth El Israel cares about our community.
Good Shabbos. I'm Toby Reddick, President of Temple Beth El Israel, and I'd like to welcome everyone here this morning. I would like to introduce our B'nai Mitzvah class. And so starting on this side, Dorothy Janin, Chuck Starr, Marissa Silverman, Sandra Lippman, Michael Zepp, I'm sorry, Dave Krimenacher, Cheryl Lieberman, and Hannah Pollock. It's such a relief to be done with that, sorry. We have been sitting up here rather nervous. We have a great appreciation of what our students go through. We could do perfect rehearsals, and then we knew we'd get up here and there would be a mistake, but that's okay, because Rabbi, you set it off with the first mistake. You stood on my foot.
Oh, that was your foot?
That was my foot.
Oh, my bad, I was aiming for somebody else.
But as a member of the B'nai Mitzvah class, I want to say a couple of words, and they don't know that I was going to say, so I am taking a little liberty here. We each had our own personal reasons for becoming a bar or bat mitzvah today. No matter how individual that reason might have been, we could have not done that without the support from each other. I think we want to thank each other for giving us the support and the courage to get through this today, to fulfill a very special desire that we each had. We also want to thank our families, both biological and temple, and our friends. Finally, thank you to Rabbi Benson for his support in putting up with 9 adults who are probably a bigger challenge than one almost 13-year-old. This has been a huge step in all of our lives, and I know that we fed off of each other, we supported each other, and none of us would have been up here if it hadn't been for each other. I hope you will join us at the Kiddush afterwards. There will be 2 separate tables, lines. Please, take your time and get through the lines. We hope you will join us. Shabbat Shalom.
For a year, I have had to hold my tongue while they talked about 9 adults. I keep waiting for the 9 adults. Every week was a different adventure, in truth. Every week when you have 9 people who get together in a close space, it's different. We've had different experiences that week. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're less so. You never know. Sometimes you get hit in the head with a truck tire. Who knows? Who would think? But every week when we would get together, it would be somebody different. It would be a different group. But that's what happens. It's like a marriage. When all of a sudden you become one. One person's pain is everybody's. One person's joy is everybody's. One person offering to pay for lunch never happens. But here we are, together, helping each other, schwitzing for each other in little sections where we know somebody had us spend a little extra time this morning, just to be sure. I look at it from a different place. These are 9 people who didn't wait till the last minute. They weren't schwitzing this morning if they didn't work like crazy from the beginning till this morning. They just wanted to take one more shot to fix one more dot, dash, comma, or hyphen. Not just for themselves, but for all of them, for each other. They're an interesting group. Of course, don't look up the definition of interesting, you won't define these people. They are a unique and extraordinary group who came from all different spokes, and they all came together in one hub. But I do believe that if challenge hits this temple, the response you will get will be from the one hub, not the individual spokes. Someone once explained the Beatles as the 4-headed monster and said, they never don't travel together, they never don't answer for each other and together. And while they don't all travel together, in a challenge, this group, I have no doubt, will answer as one voice, as they did today. They stood, they supported each other, they pointed where they needed to be, they reminded each other where you're supposed to go. Well, yeah, they did a lot of that. But they are an amazing amalgam of Jewish life. They are generations apart, and yet they are a defined generation together. The joy of coming every week to see what was going to happen next wasn't really comical as much as it was just a moment of wonder. So when I talk about who's coming, I'm talking about them as a group. You just sit behind a desk and you go, wonder who's coming in today. Who's it going to be after they all come in and sit down and you flick the switch of the Cuisinart and you see what they've become. It's amazing, and it is special. It is something I hope others of you will choose to emulate and that you will take to heart, because they did. And as we rise to return the Torah to the ark, we move forward. Ya hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ki nizkav shemo levado, Odo haaretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, Tehila lechol chasida, Livnei Yisrael am Kirovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's Chaim lama chazikim ha, v'tom checha merushar dirachecha archeinu am, v'chon netivotecha shalom. Ashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashua, Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu, Ekedem. If you folks would all meet me over here. No, I'm not going to throw candy and stuff at you. But I am going to share with you the most ancient of blessings. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless each of you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's gifts shine on you and be gracious to you. Yisah Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face and countenance shine upon you and walk side by side with you as you take your newfound and heartfelt title of Bar or Bat Mitzvah into your future with the packaging of all that you learned leading to this moment, and now rebundling it with the eyes of a Bar Mitzvah or a Bat Mitzvah, a child of the mitzvot, and set that as the road on which you travel to share a mitzvah a day, a blessing, a kindness, be it big or small. May our roads be blessed by having crossed yours, and may your roads be widened by the opportunities you seek and that you see wearing the mantle of bar mitzvah, of bat mitzvah. Together we say, Amen. Yasher kochcha. Disperse. Yeah. If you have the books that we handed out as we begin the process of the Yizkor service on Aleinu, if you have one of those booklets, please feel free to open it as we continue with the Aleinu.